Last Friday, 10 minutes before dismissal time, I decided to live stream my students helping me take my hair out.
This is the thing. I don't have kids, but something that I will be teaching my children, especially my daughters, is that grown men do not ask little girls for help.
So what will you do if you have a daughter in school and then you found out that the daughter's teacher, which is a male teacher, decided to ask your daughter to help him loosen his hair in classroom after school? So these are strike a bigger conversation. So what's happening here is that a black man shared a video of him and his student in school losing his hair, and he went on to talk about how if this case was to be and that people are having issues with him asking his student, and the students are female, to lose his braids, that why are people having issues with it, that if he was to be the other way around, if it were to be a female teacher, a lot of people will see it as being cute and bonding, and talking about how his relationship with these young beautiful queens are just really platonic and healthy, and these are his best friends, yada yada yada. And this has really struck a bigger conversation that has gotten a lot of people talking, because some people were like, no, a teacher should not be doing this with their students, should not be asking his student to be doing this, losing his hair, and all that. It should not be doing that. Why some people are saying that it's a good thing, it's bonding, there's nothing wrong with this and all that. And for me, I need you guys to see this video, okay? But hey guys, how you are doing? It's your girl Destiny, and welcome to my channel. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. So I want us to go check out this video and let me know if you think what's going on in this video, if you think anything was wrong with it, or you think like it's fine, okay? But before we go on, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? We post video every day, okay, daily. So subscribe and click the notification so you get notified when we upload new videos daily. Anyway guys, let's go check it out and then we'll come back and talk more.
Let's go ahead and stir the pot a little, shall we?
Stirring the pot.
Last Friday, 10 minutes before dismissal time, I decided to live stream my students helping me take my hair out. There was quite the discourse in the chat, which had people saying this was inappropriate and other people saying this was completely fine. There was nothing wrong with what I was doing, and people were just making it weird. So of course I had to bring this issue to the big stage. I would like to represent myself in this case, Your Honor, if I may. Number one, for a little context, I had a hair appointment immediately after school and I needed my hair taken out beforehand. I would have taken it out the night before, but that Friday we had a camera crew coming in to shoot a promotional video, and I was one of the ones being interviewed, so I had to look presentable, so I didn't take my hair out. I didn't have the time to do it all myself because it would have taken me forever, so naturally I asked about 4 or 5 of my over 100 best friends to assist me in taking my hair out, and they all agreed. Number two, this was at the end of class. This week we were doing STEM fair presentations. Since it was Friday and all of my students did an excellent job on their STEM field projects and presentations, I told them if we get one solid presentation in this class, I'll end class a little early and they can have fun and play basketball, darts, or be on their phones or whatever. And during that time, my team would help me take my hair out. A couple of these were students from my class, but others were students from other classes. I wrote all of them a pass at the beginning of the class period, requesting their assistance 10 minutes before dismissal. I told the teachers only send them if all of their work was completed and they had good behavior. They all met the criteria, so 10 minutes before dismissal, they showed up for their job. My next point I'd like to make is, if I was a female teacher, those people wouldn't be in the comments saying, oh, this is weird, this is inappropriate. Because me personally, I don't think there's anything weird about this. People are saying, oh, that's too intimate. To me, it's literally just hair. It doesn't have to be weird. Some people have never had cool teachers, and it shows. I personally believe that building authentic relationships with students is paramount in being an effective teacher. I make sure my students know and can feel that I care about them beyond the schoolwork and all the stuff that I have to make them do. I take the time to get to know my students outside of academics, because caring for the whole child is what's important. Some of these students have been with me since I was a substitute 4 years ago. They see me as a big brother or a father figure, as some of them say. And me, I don't want kids of my own, so all of these kids are literally my children. And in case you're wondering about their parents, most of them follow me on social media and always talk about my videos with their kids. They always tell me that they're so grateful that their kids have someone like me in their life. In my admin, they're well aware of my social media presence and they love my videos. To me, this is just another wholesome moment that I'm having with my kids that I was fortunate enough to catch on film. Since I'm a science teacher, one thing that I teach my students about is symbiosis. Symbiosis deals with the relationships between organisms. The type of relationship that I like to foster in my class is mutualism, or mutualistic relationship, which means both organisms benefit from the exchange. So when my students have good behavior, complete all their assignments, and do everything that a scholar is supposed to do, I reward them with downtime and just time to just be a kid, be on their phones, play games, gossip, so on and so forth. My students and I work hard and we play harder. I'm fortunate enough to have students that feel safe and comfortable around me, safe to come to me with their problems, their frustrations. They come to me seeking guidance and wisdom, or come to me simply to chill and hang out because they know that they have a safe space to be themselves around me. What I strive to do as an educator is be the teacher I wish I had grown up. I strive to be the teacher that makes my inner child happy, someone that my inner child would be proud of. I want to be the teacher that my students reflect back on 20, 30 years down the line and think like, dang, that teacher I had in middle school, he was the shit. No further questions, Your Honor. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. You think this was inappropriate or people are making something out of nothing? And although you are entitled to your opinion, all I ask is that you be respectful. Thank you.
Exactly, I agree with him. So I want to know your own take about his video and him explaining the dynamic between him and the student. What you think about this down in the comment section. But please, like I said, keep it respectful. I love to know, do you think this is inappropriate? Do you think it's not? Do you think it's cool? At first, when I saw it, I was like, but I have my own thought, but I want to know your own thought down in the comment section. So go on and share your own thought. This has gotten a lot of people, and the discourse on this is, you guys know how we do it here. Amazing discourse. So let's go see what people think about this story, this conversation down in the comment section, if what he did was inappropriate or if it's okay. Anyway, guys, let's go check it out, then we'll come back and talk more.
Let's go ahead and stir the pot a little, shall we?
You know, I really don't want to share my opinion on this because I'm really not sure how I feel about it. I'm kind of conflicted, and I was around a lot of teachers growing up because my mom is a retired teacher and principal. But the first thing that I thought about seeing this video is I remember at my elementary school, and I'm not sure this was common at other schools, like let's say a girl came to school and she was living in a household that didn't keep up with her hygiene. There were multiple like women teachers who used to like do those students' hair. Like one of my best friends, she had like long brown hair, and I remember one of our older teachers used to braid her hair all of the time, and if like students came in with hair that wasn't done, a lot of the women teachers would do their hair. And I've actually seen like TikToks of, you know, black girls coming to school and, you know, maybe feeling self-conscious about their hair and their teacher fixing their hair. And I was wondering, like, is that different? Is that acceptable, or is that also inappropriate? Like, where is that line kind of drawn? Again, I really don't have a strong stance on this, but that was the first thing that came to mind for me. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. This is the thing. I don't have kids, but something that I will be teaching my children, especially my daughters, is that grown men do not ask little girls for help. Like, I'm trying to think of a situation where a grown adult male needs to ask a teenage girl for a favor and they're not related to them in any way. And I'm not saying that this guy is one of them, but what I do know is that that is a tactic that groups to help foster more of a closeness between them and him, which is through asking for favors that involve touching them that are non-sexual. I do know that. And I know people were trying to defend it like, oh, well, I see teachers doing students' hair all the time. Yes, that's very different. That's an adult helping a child. A teacher helping a child who looks like they need help is appropriate. A grown man asking teenage girls to help him unbraid his hair and recording it while they're at school is not. I know people are going to say, oh, well, it's a double standard because he's a man. Yeah, it is a double standard. Yeah, okay, that's why people are picking the bear. There is a double standard. If I had a daughter and she came home and told me that she and her friends helped take out their male teachers' braids at school, I would definitely be pulling up. Absolutely. I have some questions because number one, you're at work. Like, this is a work environment. Number two, my kid is at school. They should not be unbraiding your hair.
That's not their problem. That's your problem. You should reschedule your appointment. Like, why are they spending time unbraiding your hair? They need to be in the library, nose deep in a book. Lastly, why are you recording it? Like, I have a bunch of nieces and nephews. You've never seen them on my page because I don't record and post other people's children. Like, I just find that very weird. I don't care how relaxed people are about it now, but to me, it feels weird. And I know things are different now, but when I was growing up, I never trusted the young male teachers who were super buddy with their female students. Like the ones who would like hang out with them on lunch break and like text them and all this stuff. I was like, I never bought it. And a few teachers in my high school were like that. And guess what? They all got exposed and went to jail because they were. Yeah, they were. And I'm not saying he's like that. He may have had good intentions and just thought it was super innocent. But this is the thing. Like, you can have good intentions and still be wrong. And stop using other people's kids for content. Like, it's weird.
Trust me, I'm a professional, huh? I think not. Listen, I understand it's, very few black teachers out there, right? If you see the caption, it says, teacher who had his students take his braids out may lose his job. Now, listen. Okay. I understand there's very few black brothers out there who were teachers, who are really trying to do his part and making sure that there's a representation out there. But this is not how it's done. This doesn't make you a professional, brother. I'm sorry. It's a little creep squad, if you ask me. Unless this is beauty school, why are these young sisters, why are these young girls got their hand in your head instead of your barber? Ask me. Ask me. Because last I checked, this did not make it to any curriculum. You got a lot of parents out there that are really upset that there's, these teachers are really overstepping their boundaries. This is one of them.
10 minutes before dismissal time, I decided to live stream my students helping me take my hair.
This was a little confusing to me. I don't see how you could get something inappropriate from this exchange. To me, it was an innocent, culturally gorgeous exchange of his students helping the teacher out. If he was a creep and he gave off, I'm gonna get you type vibes, or who is that? I don't know. But if he was giving off that type of energy, those girl students wouldn't be near him. Most girl students would not be coming within 5 inches of that dude. But as you see, multiple girls came up there. They helped them. They got the job done. And they detangled. They did amazing. Amazing. Braiding hair is like that. Sometimes it takes a little while and you need some help. What do you think about it, though?
I don't think those children should have been taking out that teacher's hair. First of all, taking her hair out at work, crazy work. Even if it was volunteer work, there's no reason why students should be taking out your hair, honestly, truthfully. And I tread lightly when I say this, but as someone who's been to an all-black school, there were definitely times where the boundaries between friend and teacher were crossed. And this right here, this is definitely one of them. And I'm not saying it from a standpoint of, oh, what if these little girls like you, da-da-da-da. Even in college, last year, my teacher did not let us ask any personal questions, no relationship questions. He said, you can ask me anything. Don't ask if he has kids. Don't ask about who he's dating. None of that. I just want us to use our brains because even if you sit here and say, oh, well, if it was a woman, would you care? Yes, I would still say the same thing. Boundaries.
I get how that man letting them girls, touch his hair could be inappropriate because a lot of times that do be a gateway for,
Okay.
to be happening amongst teachers and students. But it's like the simple fact that the man was being like 100% transparent about it. Like, and I mean, he laid it all out. He said it was at the end of class. He said the kids who were from other classrooms, they had to get a pass from their teacher to come in and do it with him. Like, he tried to do everything right. The only thing I feel like is like he actually documented it and showed it to everybody. And everybody's just going to misinterpret and just talking about it's inappropriate. Baby, that's have y'all seen the other amount of nefarious shit that kids do? That's the least of your worries. Like, he mean well, but at the same time, it's such a slippery slope because you just can't trust anybody around your kids like that. Like, y'all bitches need to be teaching your damn kids anyway. And he wouldn't have to worry about if kids not learning in school doing hair. But that's all I gotta say.
So I'm going to give my 2 cents on the situation with the teacher and the students and them taking out his hair. As someone who is an instructor, it's not exactly like a teacher. I mean, it is. I'm an instructor. I teach all the time. That is my job, my current job. I'm an instructor. And even as an instructor, we have regulations. We have things about how we're supposed to conduct ourselves, fraternization, certain types of contact or interactions with your students who are, some of your students are also your peers, but while they're in a student status, you're not allowed to have certain interactions with them because it's inappropriate. So if even in the military, where some of my students are the same age, same rank as me, and I have to conduct myself in a certain way with them to not have the illusion of inappropriateness, why do you think that you who are teaching children is exempt from conducting yourself in a certain way? I can understand that maybe you did not intend any harm and you genuinely want to have a friendship, or you think you should have a friendship with your students. I don't want my kids' teachers being friends with them. I want my children to look up to them, respect them, think highly of them, trust them, have faith in them, but I don't want a teacher being a friend to my child. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. It was inappropriate. Hands down. It was extremely inappropriate. And as my children enter school age, I'm going to make sure I explain that to them. Inappropriate relationships with people who are supposed to be looking after them. And teenagers, I know sometimes you can get friendly with your teachers and y'all can over there with certain limits. Okay? Still your teacher. We can have fun. We can have fun and good conversation. To a limit. There's a limit. There's no reason y'all should be touching. There is no reason y'all should be touching. Even at daycare, the teachers have a limit to how much I don't want to say loving, or like how much like cuddling and stuff, they limit it. Once the kids get to a certain age, of course the newborns and stuff like that, they get held all day and stuff like that, but they're babies. But once the kids get to a certain age group, the teachers start to create boundaries. They don't hug them, or they'll hug them if like if a kid fell. Like the other day, my daughter fell on the playground and they called me immediately. Mom, she fell. She's okay. After she was given some, what's the word they use? Not cut, but they like soothe her. They calmed her down, and like basically that's the only time they would like go in and comfort the child. Is when there's a situation that really needs it. But just having that interaction with kids is very inappropriate, and I hope that you learn from this and stop being so defensive about it, and just recognize that people don't want that with their kids, especially when we know that there's so many adults taking advantage of children by ways of, these little things and step up. And it's like, after this situation came about, I seen so many people talk about, I don't understand what the problem is. I was cool as hell with my teacher. My teacher was driving me home. I would go to my teacher's house. My teacher was calling me. We were hanging out. Hello, 911? You, a teenager, was hanging out with your student. And even now as an adult, you don't see an issue with that? Yeah, okay.
Minutes before dismissal time, I decided to live stream my students helping me take my hair out.
The first thing that came to mind when I saw this was code of ethics. And I'm going to be honest with you. I liked the video because I knew that he was trying to create like a culture of community in his classroom. And that's the only reason why I liked it, because I understood the intent. But in liking it and in understanding the intent, I also realized and knew that's not something I would ever do with my students in my classroom. And it's not because it's more or less because of the perception. The perception, the perception, the perception. There are a lot of states that do not have like a clear code of ethics, and if they do not emphasize it to their teachers when their teachers first start teaching. And then there are some states who constantly remind you of the code of ethics. The code of ethics is the list of things that you can and can't do is very clear. It's a long list, and a lot of it deals with perception. A lot of it are sticky situations where you have to ask yourself, how is this going to be perceived? How can this be turned back around on me in the event that it doesn't work out in the way that I thought it should work out? And that's this whole situation is kind of an example of that, where you're going to have teachers, admin, parents, who are going to look at this and say, there is nothing wrong with this. Let that man continue on about his day. And then there are going to be teachers, parents, students, and administrators who are going to see this, and they're going to be like, absolutely not at my school, not with my child. You know what I'm saying? And so it's because of the perception. And perception is not going to be the same, obviously, depending on who you're working for, who's looking at the video, whose child it is, and all of that. And so the biggest thing for me that I was reminded of and told when I moved from one state with not even like an code of ethics that was emphasized to a state where it is absolutely emphasized, was if you are engaging in something as a teacher or about to engage in something, thinking about engaging in something, and you have to question how it's going to be perceived, just don't do it.
That's it.
Just do not do it.
Yeah.
Just rethink it. Don't even put yourself at risk, because a lot of times we would like to think the best of our coworkers. We would like to think the best of our students and our parents, even our administration. Excuse me, it's early in the morning, my voice. But we would like to think the best of those people, like, oh yeah, they wouldn't dare lie on me. And the second any one of those people decide they don't like you no more, they won't have an issue lying on you. Okay. That student that used to be your best student in the classroom, you do something that's questionable, they will turn on you. They will have the ability to tell a lie and say, Mr. So-and-so did this, and I ain't like it. And sometimes they don't even have to outright lie. They just have to say, that made me uncomfortable. A parent could be passing by your classroom and see something that makes them feel uncomfortable, and you leave the door open to be perceived that you was doing something inappropriate. That's all it takes. Yep. And you do not want to run the risk of somebody misinterpreting anything that you're doing or anything that a student is doing with you. Somebody mentioned in the comment section about well, they have cosmetology classes. They have all of these classes. Yes, they do. And if this was a cosmetology class, then obviously it's a structured environment. And so this is something that they're supposed to be doing. It's a part of the lesson. A lot of technical schools or schools with technical programs like barbering and cosmetology do in fact offer discounted services or free services to teachers. If that was the case, I don't think that nobody would be in the comment section going back and forth, because again, it's a structured setting. That is a part of their curriculum. Ooh, my voice. That's a part of their curriculum. That's something that they're supposed to be doing. But in this situation, this is free time. This is just them doing him a favor, just them having fun. There's a difference. So, again, just think about the perception, is all I'm saying. I really do, I'm down with the creating a good culture, because we just don't want to come to school and be bored all day. We want to come to school, we want to have fun, we want to enjoy the people that we're around for 8 hours out of the day. But don't put yourself in a position where somebody, if somebody decides that they're going to lie on you, if somebody decides that they want to tell somebody to investigate you, that it's a question about what you were doing. Don't put yourself in that position.
Good points. I want to know what side you're in. Do you think it's inappropriate? Do you think there's nothing wrong and there's no biggie about this? I'd love to know your own take down in the comment section. But please keep it respectful as always. Here on this channel, we're allowed to disagree. We're here to have amazing conversations. So go on, feel free, share your opinion. Okay. So for me, I'm going to start off here. I get what this teacher was trying to do, trying to build a community, trying to heal his inner child, because he never had teachers like that. And probably hear me out, please. Hear me out, okay? Probably when you're trying to do that, sometimes you overdo it. And come for somebody that does certain things that I'm trying to heal my inner child, which I'm going to let you guys know. Okay, growing up, I wish I had a older person that was able to direct me on where to go in life, how to navigate life. Everything I've learned in life, I had to learn myself. I have to do everything myself, learn myself, unlearn a lot of things that I have to. And now that I am older and I feel like I have a lot of things to teach younger people, the younger people around me, some people sometimes feel like my relationship with them is inappropriate. I have friends that are 21, 20 years old, even nieces and nephews, and you see us, you think like, in first glance, you would think we're friends, okay? People see our relationship sometimes really awkward, really like, what are you doing? But that's just me trying to teach younger women and helping them to unlearn certain things society has taught them. And like my husband would say, that I am very, very lenient. I'm very, very not really tough on his nieces and nephew. And I get that. I feel like as much as I'm a very strict person, but when it comes to his nieces and nephew, I usually wish, and I put myself in the shoes and wish like, okay, I wish I had somebody like that. So I don't have to be hard. Like, you don't have to be hard on me for you to pass your message. So I extend that branch to them when I interact with them, and even when they do things that really gets me. So I try as much as possible to be very communicative with them, rather than shouting the way my culture and my environment teaches, like you have to shout, you have to probably go physical with them. I'm not like that. I will have a conversation with you. I'm able to express my emotions to them, and that's what I wish I had when I was growing up. So that was me having them and teaching them and relating with them. That is me healing my inner child, and I get where he's coming from. Probably he has a teacher that was there for him, he could relate with, he could come to, he could see as a father figure, and he wants to be that father figure for them. But also, I get where people are saying that, you know what, this is inappropriate for you to be doing this. We've talked about the bear versus man. There's a whole lot of trust issues when it comes to a man towards girls, towards younger girls. We've had this conversation of how people are groomed from a very younger age, and even in this type of dynamic where he's a young man and he's around teenage girls. Let me know if you're not a teenager when you had your first crush. Girls that are easily impressionable and all that, and that could easily lead to something else. That might not be his intention, but that could easily lead to something else. When I was even in high school, I had teachers that were cool with students, and eventually we found out what he was doing with those students. So you won't blame someone like me that growing up I had teachers that were cool with students, and eventually he was doing things with this student and it came out and everything. For me to feel uncomfortable and see that this is inappropriate, his intentions might be right, but the type of climate and the type of experience most of us parents and even grown people has experienced, we're not comfortable with it, and it is what it is. And I feel like the other lady, I guess she's also a teacher too, was explaining, if you ever think about something and think that, oh, this thing might be perceived a certain way, I know that, why are you doing this, especially in an environment where you're trying to grow children. And I get that, oh, it's good to build a relationship, but I feel like male, female, like I don't know, like I just feel like it is really like it's a tiny line, like I don't know where the line is being crossed, because I understand where he's coming from, but I personally, I hear my daughter is doing this, like we're going to like go to your salon, pay extra to get your hair undone, whatever you want to do. Don't give my child that to do. Like I'll totally frown at that. Like no, 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 no. Like I'm no, it doesn't sit right with me. I don't like it. I will not condole it, but I get where it's coming from. And if his intentions are really pure, as it come across, like really pure, I know that it's an amazing thing. It's an amazing relationship. It's an amazing foundation for those girls. But at the same time, you are a man with younger girls. Call it trauma, call it life experience. I'm still not comfortable with it. Anyway, guys, please go down in the comment section. Love to know your own take on this. I love conversations like this that is like, where's the right, where's the wrong? I love conversation like this. So I want to know your own take down in the comment section. But please keep it respectful as always. Go on and share this video with someone that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We are banging conversation. So go on and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.